Okay, so we left Salome.
Came along this little twisty road, very pretty through the desert, down to the main road, straight across, picking up this road that came down to there, and came down through here, and that's actually over Gillespie Bridge. Then carry on down through here, round the back there, into Gila Bend. Then we decided, you know what, we didn't want to stay in Gila Bend, so we just hit the highway, and it was highway, all the way through, basically to Welton. Right, the next leg then was from Welton, on the highway, across to there. There is a small road there, trust me. Up through there, came up to here. We took off-road a little bit.
You may remember on a previous video I said we're heading for Castle Dome, which is there, as you can see, but we decided the road was, or I did, the road was too sketchy.
So then we came back and we took this branch, went up to Martinez Lake. Then, after a nice lunch there, we came all the way back, followed our routes all the way back through, and came into Yuma to stay in Yuma. So, after Yuma, then we retraced the steps back up onto that main piece of road, came across there, and we came off there, took this road up through here, up to there, then we came down this piece of road through to there, then we went up there, across there, and around here, all the way to Salton Sea. So from Salton Sea we came up through there into Indio, cut across, we did all kinds of jiggery pokery, which took forever. Bit of a mistake, but there you go. This is where I will never forgive the comms.
In the video.
I'll never forgive it for that. Into Joshua Tree. Now this is stunning.
Up to the top of the mountain.
Up to the top, retraced, back down to here, started losing the light. And we did our worst sin ever, which is riding in the dark. Down to here, decided we need fuel, and it was dark anyway, so highway, back into Indio, and then back down to Salton Sea. And the next day was a very short day, back up the road into Mecca, and took that across there, and then there were these little roads that really don't appear anywhere, and back into Salton Sea. And then we got blown out, so we took this road up into Indio again, and we took this road which took us up into Palm Springs.
Oh. I found it's falling apart. I still can't see anything. I think it's this side as well. Yeah. Today's lunch is courtesy of the breakfast room at the hotel. Bagels and cream cheese, Philadelphia cream cheese, and a couple of chocolate chip muffins and a banana. So yeah, happy days. I said so again, stop saying so.
So
We're at where are we? Martinez Lake.
Just the other side of the Marines proving ground. We've been watching Marines jumping out of aeroplanes.
Oh yeah, that's quite interesting.
In their red boiler suits so they don't show the blood.
No. It's because they're recruits or something. So we've been riding along, on the not main roads. Yeah, on the not main roads today. In kind of a wilderness, really.
Yeah, first of all we came across this really strange, looked like some kind of religious
We thought we were going to get kidnapped and you'd never see us again.
But there's history in granite and it's actually called the Centre of the World, .us.
Go figure.
Make of that what you will. But it's all about, we didn't go and have a look.
I didn't get off my bike in case I needed a quick getaway.
It was closed, but
As
far as I could tell, it was like writings and drawings, things that had been made into granite so they would last for a long period of time.
Yeah.
And then we carried on riding across this really flat Arizona desert. Well, we're in California now.
Well, we went over the border
desert.
just after that place, didn't we? And back into California.
Yeah.
And it was just desert.
Just carried on desert for miles and miles, and then suddenly we come around a corner and we're confronted with sand dunes.
Miles and miles of proper, real, lovely sand.
Yeah, sand dunes.
Sandcastle sand. Yeah, and there's
with the Americans driving all over them.
Yeah, there's buggies all over them and things.
Yeah.
But it is an official play area, so...
It is an official play area.
But the other side of the road isn't.
No. The other side of the main road is left be, but this area they can play.
So the other side of the road has got a few more plants, a bit more greenery, little trees and things.
I can hear them in the background. I don't know if this mic may not pick them up, but there's a few in the background.
Probably can't see them.
Playing. Well, no, Uber.
But yeah, it's quite interesting. But it's just bizarre, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I said, look at that wilderness of nothing. Just
Can
this
I turn around and take photos again?
Deserty thing full of plants and stuff.
Oh, those purple plants.
Oh, no, before we got here. I said, it's just a vast area of nothingness.
Sorry, I've got to take some photos.
Take some photos. Vast area of nothingness. Twirling out. That wasn't a proper twirl. And then I said, we came out of the corner and then suddenly there's all this sand. And there's a huge RV park just, well, it's probably about 5 miles away now, isn't it?
Well, you can actually sit, the camera won't pick it up. But it looks like a town, but they're all just RVs.
Yeah, it's just RVs. And they were like, I don't know whether there's a meet going on or whether it's just like that all the time. There was a stand with tons of these off-road vehicles, all-terrain vehicles. A bit like this one, this orange one in the background. Where is it? There. So there was a stand with those on, but whether it's like a meet or festival, I don't know. But there are tons and tons of RVs down there. There's a couple of RVs and a caravan up here parked, all set up where it says no camping. Work that one out. Gained an hour today because we're back in California. Arizona's an hour ahead of them, so we've literally come back an hour and a half down the road, another time zone. Quite noisy though. It's not like skiing where you just get the swish swish of the skis on the snow. looks quite fun. It does look quite fun. Well, how quickly I'd get bored of it, I don't know. But yeah, nice to have a go. Saw a couple of bikes, little off-road bikes having a go. Right, I think it's lunchtime. Salton Sea was formed from an inflow of water from the Colorado River in 1905 and sits on the San Andreas Fault. During the early 20th century, the lake would have dried up, but agriculture boomed in the valley as the Imperial Irrigation District delivered large quantities of Colorado River water for irrigation, and farmers let the excess flow into the lake. In the 1950s and into the 1960s, the area became a resort destination, and communities grew with hotels and vacation homes. Hotels and yacht clubs were built on the shore along with homes and schools. Resorts in communities like Bombay Beach hosted entertainers such as Frank Sinatra, the Beach Boys, Bing Crosby, Sonny and Cher and the Marx Brothers, amongst others. Yacht clubs held parties at night and golf courses provided recreation. Many people came for boating activities such as water skiing and fishing as stocked fish proliferated. Lakeshore communities grew as vacation homes were built. The so-called Salton Riviera attracted more than 1.5 million visitors annually at the peak, more than Yosemite National Park, and it even rivaled nearby Palm Springs. In the 1970s, scientists issued warnings that the lake would continue to shrink and become more inhospitable to wildlife. We could see where the old harbours now didn't reach the water. Salinity rose so high that large fish kills occurred, often blighting the beaches of the sea with their carcasses. Tourism was drastically reduced. In the 1980s, contamination from farm runoff promoted the outbreak and spread of wildlife diseases. Massive die-offs of the avian populations have occurred, especially after the loss of several species of fish on which they depend. The water is full of salts and fertilisers, mainly nitrates. As it drains through the soil, the water leaches out ancient salt deposits that also raise the salinity. Evaporation in the desert heat further concentrates the salt. Hundreds of tyres used as anchors for luxury boats 70 years ago now litter the beach that was once underwater but is now dry and crisp underfoot. The big sailing club, the hustle and bustle which we could imagine, is now a community centre. The water that once came up to the building receded and dried up before it reaches the lake. The transformation of the lake made it increasingly inhospitable to wildlife. It has been described as California's worst ecological disaster. To us, this was probably the best ghost town that we visited. The land and nature enfold you in its story. It was a most interesting place and we felt it drew us in.
Are you crying? Carl is very upset because our comms let us down. Big time. We saw a KFC, we're way past lunchtime. The journey's just not worked as we thought it would today. And he said, oh, that KFC looks inviting. So I gave him the green light by saying, it does look inviting, I'm starving. And it didn't get through on the comms, so we drove past it. He's now really upset. You have no idea. You've got a tin of tuna and an apple for lunch. Oh, dearie me. Anyway.
everybody. This is where your Christmas dates come from. California. I'll show you the picture in a minute. The other thing of note, I don't know if you can see them on here, but every single tree has an irrigation pipe around it. Every single tree, as far as the eye can see, has its own irrigation. We've seen lemon tree fields, satsuma or clementine fields, date fields. Every single plant or bush, tree, has its own irrigation. The amount of water that's being pumped out of the ground here is incredible. It's just mind-blowing, the amount of water used for these. It's a fascinating area. It's a really fascinating area. Well, it's all tranquil now. It was not this afternoon. Carl's just cooking some supper. A bit of supper. Tent has survived yet another windstorm. Pretty remarkably. It was kind of folded in half earlier. But yeah, it's bounced back. Seems to have survived. So happy days, really.
Who says my tent's full of wind?
I say we survived another windstorm.
Yeah.
Carl did spend about an hour this afternoon just stood there holding it up.
Standing there holding on to it.
To be fair, it was just bending and buckling, but that's what it's designed to do. But it just looks horrendously scary, so Carl decided to hang on to it.
Gave me something to do.
So, yeah. But, yeah, it survived another windstorm, so well done, Lone Rider. We have got a tiny little hole. We did have some tree damage in Jasper, which we hadn't noticed, and it's so tiny I can't see it from the outside. There's a tiny hole somewhere. Let me just show you. Let's have a look. Where is it? Oh, there. You can see it now. This is only about 1.5 centimetres long. Tiny little rip. So we're going to get that fixed. We got some spare material that Lone Rider can supply with the tent. I'm going to need glue, which is not very helpful. So we need to buy some glue. So we shall get that done as soon as we get some glue. But yeah, well done, Lone Rider. Survived another windstorm.